Indonesia's Digital Government Master Plan mandates a complete overhaul of the state's technological infrastructure between 2025 and 2045. The goal is a fully integrated digital ecosystem. Constructing a 20-year tech ecosystem collides with financial reality. The APBN operates on strict one-year cycles, creating hard stops where long-term projects lose funding. Layer on 5-year political cycles driven by elections. Multi-year initiatives are frequently abandoned or reset by incoming administrations. Building a digital state is rarely a software engineering problem. Sourcing servers, migrating to the cloud, or writing better code won't guarantee a functioning public service. A resilient digital government requires rewriting the state's fiscal policy, establishing legal parity between physical and digital records, and implementing a rigorous risk architecture. Digital public infrastructure cannot survive on its own. The underlying administrative machinery of the government must be entirely re-engineered to ensure continuity. The structural mechanism forcing this continuity is the Rencana Induk, or Renduk, 2025 to 2045. It serves as the 20-year foundational blueprint for the entire government. A 2-decade timeline is too broad for immediate execution. The master plan is deliberately fractured into 5-year national action plans. These translate abstract long-term vision into concrete medium-term mandates. Those 5-year mandates cascade directly down into the Renja SKPD, the mandatory 1-year work plans required for every central ministry and regional government agency. This strict hierarchy blocks local agencies from procuring isolated, siloed software applications that address single department problems without serving the broader national framework. Hard-coding technological initiatives into every tier of the state's central planning DNA ensures every locally developed app feeds into a unified national ecosystem. The first mechanical upgrade required to execute the master plan is multi-year financing. Standard government IT projects suffer from the upfront cost trap. An agency secures capital to build a system, but fails to secure the long-term operational budget required for maintenance, cloud hosting, and security upgrades, causing the system to fail shortly after launch. The master plan replaces standard single-year procurement with outcome-based budgeting. This ties financial allocations directly to the verified performance and public impact of the digital service over time, rather than just the initial delivery of a product. Distributing massive infrastructure costs requires blended finance models. This relies on KPBU, where government and corporate entities share financial risk and pool capital to sustain deployments. These multi-year contracts legally shield critical digital projects from sudden, politically motivated budget reallocations. Financial continuity guarantees massive digital public projects remain operational rather than degrading into abandoned digital ruins. The second required mechanism is whole-of-government interoperability. Coordination must move past administrative meetings and become hard-coded data exchange. This diagram shows the 5-pillar stakeholder ecosystem driving a functional digital state: media, government, society, academia, and business. At the center sits Satu Data Indonesia, or SDI, the central policy enforcing uniform data standards and exact metadata formats across all participating institutions. This data standardization enables functional equivalence, the legal requirement that a digital transaction or electronic document carries the exact same judicial weight and authority as a signed physical paper. Automated government-to-government, or G2G, data flows rely entirely on strict SDI standards and functional equivalence to operate without manual human authorization. Without legally enforced data standards, a digital government remains a chaotic collection of disconnected applications. The final mechanism is systemic risk governance. Scaling public technology to a national level scales both operational efficiency and the potential for systemic catastrophe. When the OECD reviewed digital government rollouts in Latin America, they found severe failures caused by rapid technology deployment lacking adequate risk evaluation. Governments bypassed algorithmic impact assessments, formal reviews designed to identify bias in automated systems. This resulted in skewed administrative decisions, misallocated resources, and a rapid collapse in citizen trust. In India, the Aadhaar program successfully built a national digital identity system containing the biometric data of over 1 billion residents. However, technical failures generated false negatives, blocking vulnerable populations from essential public services. Furthermore, a lack of strict governance allowed unregulated data linkage across agencies, exposing private citizen information. To mitigate this, Indonesia's master plan embeds data protection by design. It requires a mandatory data protection impact assessment, or DPIA, before any new system is permitted to process citizen data. Advanced risk governance protects the underlying rights of the citizens from automated disenfranchisement. For this new architecture to function, the human bureaucracy operating it must be thoroughly upgraded through structured change management. This requires incremental process reengineering at the local agency level to eliminate redundancies, running in parallel with transformational, systemic shifts orchestrated at the national executive level. Updating legacy systems demands strict risk mitigation protocols. Every modification must be run through an ex-ante analysis and recorded in a centralized change log to prevent sudden service blackouts. Operating this infrastructure safely requires upgrading civil servant competencies. Employees must be explicitly trained to identify algorithmic bias, data vulnerabilities, and privacy violations to eliminate risk blindness within the ranks. Technological innovation scales strictly at the speed of the bureaucracy's capacity to safely comprehend and operate it. The final operational safeguard is continuous, evidence-based monitoring, actively ensuring the policy adapts correctly over the full 20-year horizon. Agencies conduct rigorous baseline assessments to lock in their starting conditions. This ensures every technological step forward can be accurately measured against the specific targets set in the 5-year National Action Plan. Multi-year funding, hard-coded G2G interoperability, and systemic risk governance integrate to form a single, unbroken feedback loop. The success of Indonesia's 2025-2045 digital transformation is measured by the structural resilience it engineers today to protect the state's operations for the next 20 years.